your time waiting for that second chance.
Hi, I'm Sarah McLaughlin.
No, we're not gonna do that.
Okay, Brian and Tyler, Florida, Georgia line.
Hello, it's me, your host, a guy who clearly doesn't shower very often, and we are back with We Have Liftoff, episode 2, coming at you right now. I'm standing this time. I might sit in the chair if I get bored, but for now, here I am standing up. Episode 2 was absolutely incredible, and this is where this show is really kind of taking itself to the next level this season. I'm not going to say it like out loud, but there was a part of me that when I started this show about a year ago that was kind of doing it almost tongue-in-cheek. However, this season is really taking me to this next level of appreciation for the show, and god damn it if I'm not just fully 100% committed to bringing you all the news, the hot scoops from the hoops about the launch season 2, and boy, this week was incredible. So first of all, we have our mentors, and hey, we have our first female producer, Alex Hope.
I think Hope will be a hit song because we need something like that right now.
Who's worked with Alicia Cara, Tove Lo, lots of very famous artists, and she comes in with a song called Hope, which is, I guess, named after herself. Not exactly a great look to name a song after yourself. Like, I'm not going to come to the launch and bring my song, what's it called? A Hooper. I got Hooper. With Alex Hope, we have the Right and Honorable Sarah McLaughlin.
I'm Sarah McLaughlin.
The queen of singer-songwriters in Canada, and she comes down, she's looking great, she is on the show, and then also, it looks like Marie May is now a full-time fixture on the program. This is different than last year where it was Scott, and then it would always be two people, and even last episode it was Marie May and Ryan Tedder, but now it looks like Marie is here to stay. I'm not sure if that's actually true. I guess we'll see next week when if she's there or not, but at this point, she's around, and so okay, we have 4 hosts now, and that's fantastic. But anyway, I digress. Let's get right into it. The auditions this week were fantastic. So let's start with the first artist. And you know what? I gotta sit down because this is a little uncomfortable for me, but let's get into it. Okay. Alexandra Perra.
So, tell us your name.
My name's Alex.
Are you nervous?
I am nervous.
For the first time in the show, Scott likes to say, "Are you nervous? Take a deep breath." And this is the first time I think I've ever seen the artist actually say they were nervous. That was kind of nice that it was actually warranted for once, which is fantastic. Good communication skills there. But Alexandra comes up and she drops a bombshell immediately on all of us.
So I put out the covers that I record on YouTube.
Did you get a lot of views?
I do now, which is crazy. Now it's at 7.5 million, and I'm like,
7.5 million. Immediately, I'm kind of thinking, like, Alexandra, I don't know if you've seen the other episodes of this show, but there's none of the songs have ever reached close to that number on YouTube in terms of views. And I understand it's a cover song, but immediately I'm kind of asking myself if she understands, like, or maybe I don't understand the value of being on this show, because certainly the value is in 7.5 million views. But it's, yeah, I guess another platform, and she's just trying to expand her music empire. So she comes on the show, and she sings, and
Don't find us, find me where the wild things are.
she didn't get a second song, which kind of tells you how the judges felt pretty much immediately. Most people get a second song. Usually it's to, like, either get a second chance or to further prove just how versatile they are. But with Alexandra's case, no, didn't even get a second song. So that kind of tells you where she's at. So let's just move on immediately from her. Great job, Alex, but it didn't really seem like you had it this time. But you know what? At the end of the day, you can sit back on 7.5 million. And that's, a lot of these artists will never be able to say that. So you're fine, you're good. Okay, the second person that we had audition, Trevor LaRose, and this is where things got good.
My music makes me me. I remember discovering my voice back when I was around 6 or 7 years old.
This is where this show really starts to heat up. Trevor LaRose, he himself is just heating up the room. Trevor, you are a good-looking guy. I'm not gonna rub 2 coins together and lie to you. You're a great-looking dude, and you know, usually with this music stuff, if your voice is fine and you kind of got a bland character, if you're hot, you might still make it, you know? But Trevor really went to the next level, really a triple threat. Trevor's voice absolutely amazing. And what a great song to start with, Trevor. Ed Sheeran's Thinking Out Loud, a personal favorite of mine. And yes, there are a couple of notes in your audition that are a little pitchy.
And kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars.
But all in all, absolutely phenomenal performance. Somebody who really understands their vocal range and just really controls the audience. Like, god damn it. I just feel like, I mean, all the judges definitely were captivated, and so was I in the audience. So Trevor seemed like a shoo-in from the start. They ask him to sing another song, and he sings Fixie by Coldplay and tells a story about when his father had cancer, and it was really just, it tugged at my heartstrings, and I think a lot of people's heartstrings were equally tugged at. And then his audition ended, and really it left everyone kind of, it left everyone with a new understanding of what is possible with the potential of the artists that come onto this show. I would argue that his audition was the best so far of the entire season, if not the entire show. If you've seen my reviews from last season, there were some artists that came close, but Trevor's just got the whole package. So he leaves the stage, and he should be confident because, god damn it, that was great.
Great job today. I appreciate that. All right, Trevor.
The third person we have is Avery Florence.
I'm Avery Florence.
And Avery Florence is from somewhere, but she moved from wherever that is to Montreal recently. And so it was great seeing those shots of her busking out of Place d'Armes. I've never seen her personally. I don't know if she's just lying about that. But yeah, apparently she busks here, and she came up and she performed an original song called Fly. There's going to be a pattern in this show, this episode, and this is true of a lot of songwriters that are starting out, but it's not really, if you're just going to say fly 4 times.
I wanna fly. I wanna fly.
You gotta understand that that's boring for everyone else. I understand that it's your song and you're loving every moment. Anytime I ever write a song, I'm like, fuck, this is the best thing that anyone's ever written. This is fucking gold. But we all have that feeling. It's part of having like a healthy ego. But you gotta realize that, like, yeah, just repeating a line 4 times in a row
Hope. I think Hope will be a hit song because
is not good songwriting, and it just comes down to simple mathematics and the way that these things break down. You just can't say fly 4 times. It's boring. It's very boring. So anyway, Avery, pretty decent voice, but that was not a great place to start. It was not interesting, not good songwriting. And then she goes and she tries to prove a bit more of what her vocal range can do with Sam Smith, a cover of Sam Smith, which is always bold because now Sam's got a range. Sam knows a thing or two about singing. And Avery just, first of all, she didn't really have the confidence to pull it off. And then at the end, she's like, tells the judges, I guess Alex, and by the way, the other thing, Alex's face throughout all the auditions is just beautiful. Alex is not there to be like, wow, good for you. Alex is literally just listening with her eyes just wide and her mouth open, being like, what the fuck? Alex is great. Alex is a no bullshit person. But anyway, at the end of Avery's Sam Smith cover, Alex is like, yeah, I think you could go up. I think you could go up at the end there. And Avery says,
Trying to get there still.
Yeah, it's like you have a little filter and it like stops it. Because I feel like that chorus, you could totally go up.
Yeah, I usually do.
well, I usually do. So why didn't you? You know, it's not a good idea to concede that you are actually performing worse than usual at an audition where you're supposed to be performing your heart out. I guess the logic that some people will have is like, oh, well, you haven't really seen my best. I promise I can do better. But it's like, it's insulting to the judges and it's insulting to everyone in the show to say something like that, because all it does is basically tells them that you didn't try very hard or you just weren't capable of actually putting your best foot forward. And it's like, if that's the case, you shouldn't be here, because this is a serious competition and there's a lot at stake. So don't come in here half-assed and then try to apologize for it. Try your hardest, and let that be a lesson to all future launch contestants. You don't come in here and be like, well, you know, you can see there's some potential, right? No, show them everything you got. So Avery finishes her audition. We're not really sure where she stands, but next up is T. Thomason.
I'm T. Thomason. I spent the last decade performing on stages across Canada, and I'm ready to be launched.
T's got a great voice, very like indie. I'm really like from his like original song that you hear during his like intro. He's got this really cool. I can't put a finger on the exact artist that I'm trying to think of. It's not Tallest Man on Earth, but it's one of those sort of like, because it's kind of a higher register. But yeah, very indie sound. And T tells a story of how he transitioned.
I started to think, I think I need to take a break and just be with myself and maybe make some changes to be more authentic and comfortable in my skin and in my life.
T comes on and he plays a song called Loser, which is an original composition of his, and it kind of has a bit of the Avery Florence effect where, it's saying the same thing over and over again 4 times, and I liked the song, and I really like T's sort of style, and it's something different and unique, very like indie, like just alternative, but you can't just say I'm a loser over and over again, just like you can't say fly over and over again. That's just my 2 cents. I'm sure other people might disagree, but that's just a little bit of critique I have there. So T sings Loser, and the judges are like, damn, okay, totally different. We had Trevor come in earlier, and Trevor's got this golden voice, whereas T comes in and he's not the most technically proficient or skilled, but it's his style and character that kind of like make up for that and actually make sort of T a more sellable artist, which is what this show's all about. So his audition goes pretty well, and then we come to our final contestant, which is Faye.
Faye, it's time to shine.
Yeah, let's do it.
And Faye is from Vancouver, BC Nation, represent as always. I'm always on Team BC. And I guess T went to Sarah McLachlan's music school as a kid. And so clearly there's a red flag of collusion flying in everyone's heads when we see that in the show. And, it's really absolutely, who cast this episode? Like, I love Faye and I love Sarah McLachlan, but how did the people, couldn't she be on a different episode where Sarah's not there? Like, clearly, some red flags. But anyway, Faye sings, and she sings Ariana Grande, God Is a Woman.
See if you deserve what comes next. I'm telling you the way I like it, how I want it. Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. One of the best auditions I've seen on this show. She holds herself very well. She's just, it's marvelous. It's absolutely fantastic. And it left me kind of scratching my head as to who was going to go through because, like I said, this episode kind of raised the bar. There's some high caliber talent that came into play. So then we go to the selection process. The first choice is Trevor. Boom. Well, who's it going to be then? Is it going to be T or is it going to be Faye? And it turns out to be T. And it's really too bad for Faye, but part of me really thinks that there's going to be some sort of deal signed behind closed doors with Faye to try to work with Big Machine anyway, because, personally, if I was that production company, I would have seen her audition and been like, well, even if we're not going to put you through, damn, you have raw talent, it's worth working with. And I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't happen, if any label or anybody who had seen that episode saw Faye, like they're probably reaching out to her right now. I'm sure she's getting contracts left, right, and center. I would hope so, because she really is a raw talent there. So T and Trevor move on, and we go and listen to the full version of Hope.
I thought I had the means to understand you.
Hope really hits home for me. The energy behind it, the lyrics. I think it's well put together, and I think it has a lot of potential of becoming something that really stands out as a bit of an anthem when it comes to ideas and emotions. Totally into it. I think it was awesome.
This song is, again, I'm happy that we're going in this direction of more modern production, but I do think this song is kind of like a 2011, 2012 modern. It's really not fully up to date. It's more up to date than Giants or Lucky Ones from last season, but it really reminds me of like Hozier or something like that, and that's not really like what people are rocking with right now. So a little disappointed in the song. The caliber is still, I would argue, higher than last season, and hopefully next week there's going to be a better one. And not to mention, considering Ryan Tedder had the best song last season, like it's obviously going to be tough to follow that up. And it's still a pretty good track, but I'm just saying, I don't think it is better quality. But Trevor goes into the studio first, and oh my God, this guy is absolutely a god, a legend.
It ain't the same as yesterday. I want it back, want it blue, want someone to blame.
That was great. That was awesome.
I think he's right in the pocket immediately.
Her and Scott are like, we're fucking done. We're done. This guy's done. Honestly, I heard that vocal take. Wasn't that great, but he's got such presence and he commands it, and he just really ripped through the tune, and it was so easy, and he's such a courteous guy.
Sounding good. Does it sound good out there?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, it sounds good in here. How about out there? He's really just trying to make everyone happy. God damn it, just such a nice dude. I really love this Trevor character. And then at the end, Scott Borchetta has this really weird thing where he really wants guitar on all these fucking tracks.
I feel like we're pretty close.
Okay. What if we had Sarah play some guitar on it?
In this case, Sarah McLachlan was the one that was conscripted to play some guitar on Trevor's version. But Trevor also picked up a guitar. I think he just wanted to jam, and there's this funny little moment. Like, I wasn't really sure who was tracking or what was going on, but Scott got his wish, as he always did, and Sarah laid down some guitar. Then T comes in, and T's decided to make a couple of his own changes to the song to sort of represent, sort of writing to a past version of himself. If you look back at last season, the Elijah Woods x Jamie Fine, they came in running hot to Ryan Tedder's song in the studio. We're gonna change the key, they said. We're gonna add some tablas. You know, they were making changes left, right, and center. And by the end of the production session, almost all of them had been peeled back. Sometimes people get attached. Like, for instance, they were doing it with Ryan Tedder. And Ted Areno, the Ted Meister, he's the fucking producer for One Republic. He's a very successful songwriter. So having your artist that's never really cut a song before come in and just want to change everything, it can be a little annoying. But with T's choices of the lyrics, Alex actually really enjoyed it. T is developing an even stronger connection to the song by inserting his own meaning with his own lyrics. And you know, he's also not asking to change too much of the actual production. So what's there to dislike about that? So T goes into the booth, starts singing, and suddenly Scott's gonna drop this bomb.
He's right in there, but I think we've got to do something more interesting with the track for him.
No, it ain't gonna be the same.
We gotta change it. It's just not working right now. Something's not working. And Alex is like,
I'm scared.
And Scott's like,
You should be.
And then there's a commercial break. They're so good at creating tension in this show for commercial breaks. So they come back, and Scott's got this great idea, that's never been thought of before.
Going with like a 16th guitar, just
Yeah,
add some guitar to it.
I'd love to hear that. We got that
So T's trying to sing, and it's just like, no, like, it's so fucking tragically awful the way that this guitar is added to the song. And once again, it doesn't show up in the final version of the song, at least not the way that Scott wanted it recorded. And so why does Scott keep going after it? Like, every single song he wants to add guitar, and it never comes through. So when are you gonna get the hint, man? Like, stop it. Anyway, yeah, it was really shitty guitar, but T managed to make it his own. I'm just gonna crack my kombucha for the live performance. This live performance segment on We Have Liftoff is sponsored by Club Kombucha. It is kombucha. It is kombucha to drink like a beer in a can, but it's kombucha. Welcome to the club. Fuck. Okay, so we have the performance section. And Marie May is back. But what I like about this performance section is, I don't know if we saw this in the first season, but fucking Lord of the Tunes, Scott Borchetta, comes down to help Trevor for a little bit. And he's wearing these giant, the launch headphones for some reason. I guess he had just gotten out of a listening session, but the things are like, they're choking him to death. But he goes up and he gives some advice. I can't really remember what it was. It didn't seem like it was very impactful. But it was just nice to see Scott down on the floor getting his hands dirty, you know? He's usually sitting up there on his throne, kind of commanding things from afar. But it's nice to see him down in the dirt. And they kept on saying all this stuff about Trevor.
What I need to see out of Trevor for his live performance is really getting outside of himself.
My one concern about Trevor is, like, he's holding back. And sure, maybe, like, he's a little self-conscious and introspective. Personally, I think those are great parts of Trevor's character, and it really kind of helps him create this smoldering, sort of secret and sensitive image of a broken but perfect man. A chiseled form of Apollo. But the thing is, like, for fuck's sakes, okay, he's holding back, but you listen to his voice. What is he holding back? He's got such a voice. I can see how when the perfect human being walks through the door, it's not very good television, so they kind of have to have some sort of like adversity to overcome, but it was a pretty weak choice because he was pretty great already, but you know, whatever. I'm not going to complain too much because whatever, it's my job. And then T goes up, and Marie May is there for T's performance practice. So Marie May is like, it's going to be tough because Trevor has that technical skill, so the only thing T can do is...
You need to be hope, boom. It needs to, yeah. Can we do just the bridge part?
We need hope.
If T's not able to go like this, T's going to lose. If he doesn't go exactly like this on cue, I don't know if he's got a chance at winning. You know, it all comes down to moves like that, and that's really something that a lot of people have this sort of ignorant notion that it just takes having a good song and a good personality and a great voice and a good team and money and a good management and a good label to release a good song and get successful. But the trick is, you gotta be able to go during a performance. And that's why Taylor Swift is so goddamn successful. Yeah, sure, she has money, and her dad bought the record label that she was on, and she's got a plethora of ghostwriters that can do anything for her. But god damn it, the reason why she's successful is because she can go from a squatting position to a standing position in half a second, and it's absolutely fucking beautiful. So we go to the performances, the moment we've all been waiting for. We want to hear these two artists sing their own versions of Hope by Alex Hope. So the first person to take the stage is Trevor LaRose, wearing this incredible denim piece. And the thing is, the song is like really anthemy. Like, it sounds like something that like maybe might be the theme song for the Canadian Olympic team when they go to wherever the next Olympics is. It's that kind of thing. Like, there's a lyric in there like, "We the people," which whenever I hear we the people, you know, no, thank you. We are not the people. Personally, I don't think that the world is looking for preachy music right now, at least not in this like very arbitrary, non-message based way. Like, if you have a song, like for instance, 21 Savage and J. Cole just dropped a song that was like directly calling out ICE for their crazy aggressive and the abusive practices of detaining people in America. That's a preachy song that is actually palatable because they're talking about something, but these like sort of these empty words about getting together and loving each other and shit, it's just really, it's not really, there's no substance, and because of that, people see right the fuck through it. It's kind of like how punk rock is partially stems from the anger that young people had at the time over the free love 60s movement, because they would look back and see all this shit like John Lennon being like, imagine all the fucking people like together, but it's like, these are empty words without action, and also they're not specifically like calling out any of the oppressors or anything like that. It's really just like, no, just love each other. Like, we got to do a bit more than love each other to change things, you know? We actually have to talk about the issues and really try to find solutions. You can't just have a song like Student Demonstration Time by the Beach Boys that just talks about how students demonstrate. Like, talk about what they're fucking demonstrating for, man. You know what I'm saying? Trevor goes on stage and he just absolutely rips it. You know, it's Trevor and he's flawless. This guy is probably the greatest contestant ever on this show. And it's just beautiful.
And I had a patient heart. I thought I had the means to understand you.
He does obviously sound like Hozier, and the song, it sounds like a Hozier song, so it's not exactly new or captivating, but for what it was, Trevor absolutely fucking knocked it out of the park. The judges were all very impressed, and might I say, the judges were looking great tonight too, really dressed to the nines. It was a real spectacle, and it was just great to see everybody enjoy themselves. Trevor killed it. And then we have T come up. I'll admit, for a lot of the show, I was like, well, Trevor's a shoo-in. The guy is literally an angel fallen from heaven. But when T took the stage, it was like, oh shit.
Thought I had a patient heart. I thought I had the means to understand this.
I did not realize the way things were gonna go, because T's version, to suit his voice better, it's pitched up and it's actually sped up too. And it's different, it's more unique, it's something that you would want to listen to more than just a, with Trevor, we've heard it before. With T, we haven't heard it before. And that's something that's good. That's always a good thing. You want to be able to market that. So T's version, it is absolutely magnificent. There's this great breakdown after the jump up thing where T puts the mic in his fucking pocket and does this clapping thing, which was pretty cheesy, but it's a cheesy song, so it worked out pretty well. And Marie May is literally crying at that point, and you just know it's like, boom, this record's going to be launched. Before we even have confirmation from the judges, we all know what's going to happen. We go to the results, and what do you know? T rocks it, takes it away, and is the winner and is launched. Like I said earlier, this episode really kind of elevated the program. I've always liked the show, but there was just a really good storyline this time. 2 amazing talents. I apologize that this video is coming out on Saturday. I released a single with my project Mouth Breather yesterday, and so I was kind of busy doing promotion for that. I don't have a single coming out next week, so I'm going to try to get this thing out on Thursday for you, if that's okay with you. God willing, it'll happen. Thanks so much for sticking with me. Share this with your friends. And also, if you share this with your friend on Facebook, I will put your name in the title credits of the next episode of this show. All you gotta do is share it once, and I'll take every single person who shared it. I'll take their name and I'll put it in the cool little credit montage at the end. How cool is that? It's pretty fucking cool. Thanks so much. I'm Owen Hooper. This has been We Have Liftoff, Season 2. Episode 2. We're going to be back next week with even more great talent, great stories, all the scoops from the hoops. This is We Have Liftoff, and have a great day.